Well, the effort was all season. We finished the last 2 races of last season very strong, and we believed in what we were capable of this year. And I think we proved to ourselves that even with adversity and the things that we faced throughout the chase, the bad runs that we had, and the mistakes that we made and recovered from, that we can compete for these championships. And I guess the only thing I'm able to take away from this that's really positive is something I think is really important, is that at least we know that we can compete with any of these people. We can compete with a 2-time champion or 3-time champion now, winning half of the chase races. We can still score as many points as them, and that's a big deal. And I know that there are a lot of tests in life, and I think that the last 3 or 4 weeks have been a huge test for me and for my team mentally. For us to keep our confidence up, to keep our cool, to go out and perform and do our jobs, and I'm really proud of that. And it's just that's it. That's my maximal effort right there. And Tony beat us, so he is the champion. He deserves to be the champion. They did a good job, and now we will just go home and work even harder. And if we're faced with the same test next year, hopefully we'll do even better.
Thank you very much, Carl. We'll take questions now. We'll go with Ed, Lee, Lewis.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. Carl, can you even begin to describe your thoughts those last 15, 20 laps, and it got down to 12, 11, and you started to see that you just weren't catching him?
Well, I'll tell you, for me, I thought back to a lesson that I was reminded of at Iowa, second race with Ricky Stenhouse, and that was to never, ever give up, period, ever. So, I was fully prepared for Tony to run out of fuel, for him to have a tire problem, for anything to happen, for a caution to come out and have a restart, and that's all I can do. That's my job, is to be as prepared as I can be. So I didn't really let myself think about the consequences of what was going on. I just had to go drive the hardest I could, and I did. I mean, I drove to the edge and beyond, and that's all I had.
Let's go Lee, Lewis, and then George Diaz.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. I can't help but, watching you, thinking that you will spend the rest of the off season thinking about what you have to do, where you lost that edge, and right, what you can do to come back and just be even better than you are right now. Is that pretty accurate?
Yes, yeah. Here's the deal. Whether we won tonight or we lost, I mean, tomorrow is the start of the next season. And I was prepared before this race began to do exactly what I'm going to go do, and that's to be a even better next year and to apply what I've learned here. I mean, we knew we could come into this thing, and we knew that of all the circumstances that could happen, this one was the least probable. I mean, for us to finish like that, tied, fighting for the win, that is the least probable outcome. And so I was prepared for anything. I knew that this was a possibility, though, and I was prepared for this. And I told myself, I told my family that the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to walk back to that motorhome, win, lose or draw, and I'm going to be a good example for my kids, and work hard, and go be better next season. Because we talked about it before the race. Even if we won this thing, you go halfway through next season and you struggle, that's quickly forgotten. So as painful as this is right now, I know that we're fortunate to have the opportunity to go to Daytona and just start all over again and go race. So.
Okay, let's go Lewis, and then George Diaz, and then Jim.
Yeah, Carl, Lewis, Frank Reuters. Can you share with us what you said to Bob Osborne when you got out of the car and shook hands?
I just want to make sure. I want to make sure that Bob knew that I believe he's the best crew chief here, and that he will be my crew chief for as long as he wants to be, and I'm behind him and his decisions 100%. So I just, as tough as it is for me, it's tougher, I think, for those guys, the guys that prepare these cars and determine which things we're going to work on throughout the year and what strategies we're going to use. I mean, they make some very, very big decisions that they can't turn around and change in a heartbeat. As a race car driver, I can make quick decisions out there, and I can fix things and make things happen, and they make some very, very thought-out decisions, and I'm sure that their disappointment is as great or greater than mine.